famous, of course, originally because tragically your husband Gary was murdered by youths in Warrington in 2007. So, as I say, you know more than anyone about needing to crack down on antisocial behaviour. Do you think that these measures do that?
We've heard these measures before, and actually I welcome any measure that would stop antisocial behaviour, but there's nothing new in this that's already out there, and we've got to have the resources and people, the neighbourhood policing, and they mentioned probation officers, well, that's on its knees as well. So no, I don't think any of these policies are new, and we're still going to struggle to tackle antisocial behaviour, most importantly with police who class it as lower level.
No, I mean, we all want to see measures against antisocial behaviour, Helen, but honestly, I'm looking at this, they're talking about laughing gas. I'm finding it very hard not to laugh out loud as to the sort of things they're proposing, like take a scrubbing brush and clear your graffiti within 48 hours. I mean, how are they going to enforce that?
That one, I'm with you, because in fact you've got to find the user that have committed it in the first place, because they're not going to stand there outside who've done it. They're going to be run off and find out. Then the police have got to look at CCTV if there's any CCTV. So it's a long progress in that. I welcome that we do have youngsters who cause this graffiti and whatever to actually go and then make it better, because I have seen in my roles across the government that when you get young people to actually then go and repair the damage, they do get quite proud. And I always think that you can pick up on a skill that they never knew they had. I mean, we've been talking about the construction this morning. They've got a lot of practical skills that we need to pick up on, but I don't think they are very practical. And what worries me is it's still down to communities proving who's done the damage and doing a lot of intelligence, because there's no police officers on the neighbourhoods anymore.
Not only are there no police officers, Helen, there's no respect for them. When you were young and when I was young, and I presume you're the same, Isabel, that you had, if a police officer directed you in a certain way or told you to do something, you did it without any back chat or lip or whatever. Now everybody knows their rights. I know my rights. You can't touch me. You can't tell me to do that.
They do exactly. They know more than you know, actually, what you're supposed to do. And I think that's why we need to tackle these feral youths, and we need to get down to basic policing. But for the money that's put in, I'm not going to knock any investment, but to tackle laughing gas is just one area. I mean, I know there is a problem with that, but I don't see it a lot. I see more problems with cannabis on the streets, alcohol on the streets, and even the minister just said there, it's early evidence. Well, normally, I'm not being funny in any sense, but when I joined, in the House of Lords and looked at policy, how it's made, it's normally, apart from giving you DNA, they don't do anything, until they've got finite evidence. And I've worked with drugs policies and everything like that. I think it's about education. It's also about making sure that young people have got something to do instead of causing antisocial behaviour. So it needs a lot of investment that isn't is piecemeal, and these are not new policies. The only one is the laughing gas that I can see that's a new one out of that, and that's early evidence, as the minister just said.
As you say, early evidence, and actually the advice that the government commissioned on this, they've decided to ignore, because they're advised not to ban it because it wouldn't necessarily work. But I want to ask you, there are people emailing in saying, gosh, who'd be a youngster these days? Kids always get into trouble. That's, what young people do. Just explain to us, I mean, obviously through your own experiences, how what might appear to be just kids getting up to no good on a Friday afternoon or whatever can actually creep into more serious, more sinister, more threatening behaviour, and why we should take it seriously.
We should take it seriously, because quite rightly, Isabel, is that, it does creep into more criminality. And that's why when I lost Gary, I've really championed on-side youth zones where they cost about $6 million to build, which is a hell of a lot of money and still takes more. But it creates an environment not just for somewhere safe for these youths to go into and they get a hot meal. It also creates a different level of education that maybe that we're looking at, the pupil referral units, the money that's ploughed into them actually can help youngsters look at different skills from entrepreneurship, maths and English, and it gives them that creative space as well. So for me, it's about recognising the different talents confidence in youngsters that can be created in a safer space with these quality youth zones that we're seeing up and down the country. But yeah, a lot of young people naively go into these gangs, and the young people are also exploited into these gangs. We look at county lines, drugs, cuckooing. You know, I've done a lot of work on this, and it's not a simple straight line, but there is youngsters who you cannot change their attitude, and they will keep on going into crime. We've got to have a balance here and protect the good ones as well, who don't cause any issues, and give them a life that they should have as well.